We're now joined Achim, and we're in the ATC building in Stratford, as you can tell behind me by the backdrop. It's an area that he has spent a lot of his spare time, so we'll come back to that shortly. But congratulations on your award, and obviously very well deserved. So what was your response when you found out you were going to get an award?
Well, to be honest, they called me because I hadn't actually gotten the letter. So I'm Generation Z, I'm not really used to physical mail these days. Yeah. And so I was called and was, have you received a letter? And I sort of went, no, what?
All right, so it really was a surprise.
It really was.
Yeah, letters are actually overrated. Normally they're just invoices or bills, so don't take it up as a hobby, picking them up.
I won't collect them then.
Yeah, so it was good that you finally got the message then that you had been given an award, and we're just going to talk a little bit about your background and what you're up to now. So you came to Stratford around about 2012, I believe, and attended St Joe's School and then on to Francis Douglas.
Yes.
Okay. And you're a day boy travelling to and fro.
Yes, that was fun.
Yeah, I bet. And what were some of the highlights of your schooling at Francis Douglas? It's a great school.
So I was an academic kid. That was sort of where I quite enjoyed doing stuff at school. So I really enjoyed history, religion and English would have been sort of my highlights at school. The history teacher there, Mr. Volzke, has taught there for a very long time. He's really good. He knows everything there is to know about the school, right. And he was always a real fun to have in the classroom. So
that sort of motivation that you're obviously sensing from him has flowed through to the fact that you've entered a number of competitions outside of the school area and done really well in those.
Yes.
Yeah. And some of those have been involved in story writing and on all sorts of subjects.
Yes, so I've submitted works over the years to the Redraft Anthology, which is a youth anthology for people 19 and below. And over the years I've had a number of works published within that. That was at the encouraging of one of my English teachers. So without them saying, do this, that would have never happened.
Just went and did it. So obviously writing's something you enjoy, and that manifested itself again when you became involved with the parliamentary youth or youth parliament, and you had a role there in the media gallery.
Yes, so I was in the press gallery of the 2022 Youth Parliament, and this was a really interesting role. So it's held every 3 years, and it's a chance for every MP in the country selects one young person from the area to represent them, as well as 20 of us who then report on what's going on. So this was writing articles, interviewing people, and really keeping people informed of what was going on.
Okay, so obviously if you've written things in the past on cannabis law reform and the Auckland University's Brain Bead Neurology competition, it obviously captured the attention of those guys, and that was the reward for it. So I think that's something special in itself. All the way through your youth or growing up in Stratford, you've been involved in ATC, which is where we're in the building right now. And I know that you've been very dedicated to that. So what are some of the things that you feel that you've gotten from ATC?
So I joined the cadets in 2017. So it's been almost 7 years now. And it's been a really good time to be a member of cadets. I've had the chance to do leadership training with the actual Defence Force. So they will take us for a week, 2 weeks even.
So there's a strong affiliation between the military and ATC?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we're supported by, we've got military personnel directly supporting us.
All right, cool. And maybe not for you perhaps, but for some it's a way through into the armed forces as a career option?
Yes, I certainly know quite a few of my friends are now entering or are already in the Defence Force, and it's been quite cool to see them go that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know this particular building's a bit different than some of the others because it's got an internal shooting gallery in here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
are you any good at that?
Well, it took me 6 years to get my first rifle competency badge. My first time I went shooting, we've got a series of lights that light up the targets, and I missed the lights and I hit the wire, taking out most of the lighting structure. So
I'm glad
that was
didn't hit a person. That's the main thing. Yeah.
And you can only get better, right?
Yeah,
so start low, and I worked my way up, and I eventually did get my badge.
Okay. Well, once again, perseverance gets you there. And I know another passion that you've been involved with is the Stratford Youth Council, and you've had leadership roles there for quite some time.
Yes. Yeah. So I was on the Youth Council, I think, for 6 years overall. And yes, I was the secretary for 2 years. I was the co-chairperson for a year. And that's been a really cool time. There's a lot of really dedicated people who come through that. Yeah. Alina Hadalovich and Connor Giblin are two that I joined with, and I then spent most of my years on Youth Council with. Yeah. And it's been really cool seeing them achieve themselves.
I've sat in on a few meetings, and you're quite an accomplished chairman, I've got to say.
Thank you.
You've done very, very well in that respect. So just as we close off there, maybe you've done a lot of voluntary work, not only through ATC, but also you've helped out at the local theatre.
Yes, so I think the theatre is probably the coolest place in Stratford. Yep. It's got all this history for one. It's the first theatre in the Southern Hemisphere to show talking pictures. Yep. It's run entirely by volunteers who are really dedicated about keeping the service in the community. I think
it's very cool, and you should be congratulated for your part in that. So I just want to ask finally about your university. You're at Victoria at the moment, and the subjects you're studying are?
I'm doing anthropology, international relations and religion as part of a Bachelor of Arts.
Okay. I should have known. Not my particular forte, but definitely yours, and I'm sure you're going to do well. So what's that going to lead to? What's your ambition? Have you got one?
I'm looking at going into humanitarian aid or emergency management. Right. So a lot of that is people-focused, hence why I'm doing sort of anthropology, very people-focused studies. Yeah. But it's also building on what I've done with cadets of on-the-ground leadership. What can we do? Be there, get things done.
Yeah, that's very admirable, and I just know from knowing you that you're going to be successful in doing that. You'll achieve everything you ever wanted. So I just want to say thank you very much for the work you've done while you've been in our community, as you've sort of pretty well moved on, if you like. But you'll have ties back here forever, and you've done a great job. You're certainly worthy of a Citizens Award.
Thank you.
And we offer you our congratulations.
Thank you.